How's it going, guys? This is Dallas here, and for today's YouTube video we will be talking about all-weather floor mats. On my right we have 3W liners right here. In the middle we have the OEM for Toyota. On my left here we have WeatherTech. With that being said, we will be talking about the similarities that these all-weather floor mats have. And yeah, again, sorry, this is the driver's side portion that we will be starting with. All right, so this is the WeatherTech, a company that's well known. It is very plasticky. I'm not expecting to roll it like I did with the others, but just feeling it from the material itself, you can tell it's more plastic than rubber. But for price point with these mats, you know, it's just, I'm dumbfounded with it. These run you just about $223.90. In other places, it can run you just about $250 to $260, depending where you're buying these sets from. And that is for the driver's side, passenger, and the second row. So these mats itself from WeatherTech is almost double the price from our other mats that we have here. But yeah, so one thing that I really do dislike about these mats is that right here where your left foot rests, it kind of leaves everything else exposed, which I'm not really fond of. They do have a lot of high groove areas over here, which is great, but you know, it just depends what you kind of are looking for. One thing that I really dislike about these mats, as you can tell, it looks very much so plasticky from the back, and there are no teeth on these at all. So I can imagine that these mats will be very slippery and just holding it in place. These are the only two things that really hold this WeatherTech in place. So I definitely give it a thumbs down for that. For our others that we do have on here have a lot of teeth. But just looking at these mats, you know, you may say or think that it does look like there's a lot more coverage from the others. This is made from an HDTE material. It's supposed to leave no odor, but it technically kind of does. But yeah, and overall, with my experience with having WeatherTech, a lot of the corners, edges, I believe, curl. Now I'll talk about the OEM from Toyota. As you can see, there looks like a lot of wear and tear into these mats, but believe it or not, these mats weren't in my vehicle that long. So as you can imagine, you know, there are some issues with these OEM mats, but we'll begin with the price point on this. So these mats cost you about $178.95. I guess it really just depends where you buy it from. That's for the driver's side, passenger, and the second row. There's not much really to say about these mats compared to others that I've had, but I will say, you know, they do have some slight coverage, and they do have the security so that the mat does not slip. And you can just tell from this point of view that, you know, there's just lots of curling happening. But I will say that what they have going on with them, that they do have a lot of teeth behind it to help with security for it not to slip. So I will give that to them. But another thing is that with this material, there isn't a real clear instruction of what kind of material is made with this. But as you can see, I can really just roll it up with no issues at all. So it's very flimsy, not like others where it's a little bit more stiff and has a lot more structure to it. I will say this though, when it did rain and I had these mats in my vehicle, my foot would be slipping around here, whether I got into the vehicle or whether I was just gassing or braking. But yeah, I would say, you know, not that good of a mat. I can probably easily rip this and break this in half if I wanted to. Yeah, lots of negatives for these mats from Toyota. With this material, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but you know, with the rain and water and stuff, it does kind of leave a sense of odor into these mats, whether it just kind of seeps into the material, but I did notice that. But yeah, overall, I'm not really impressed with these mats, and happy it's not in my vehicle. All right, so this is the 3W floor mat. Again, this is the driver's side. We will start with the price point of these mats. If you were to get a whole set, as in the driver's side, passenger, and the second row, this will cost you just about $159.99. Okay, so this mat in general uses a TPE material, which helps with the odorless smells. So if you were to drop milk or have lots of mud or just have a lot of water on here, either from a lot of rain or snow, this material will not leave any type of odor on it. And that's one of the main reasons why I love this floor mat. I've had this in my vehicle for the last 6 months, and my truck is a daily, and there is no signs of curling around these mats at all. Excuse me. And I just absolutely love that. As you can see with others, you know, there are some types of curling, but yeah, none at all with this. One other thing that I really love about this mat is that underneath, as you can see on these lines, there are some teeth that give this mat some extra grip onto the carpet of your floor, and that really helps with the security, making sure that these mats don't slip. Okay. Also, overall, I believe with these mats, I've had no issues with slipping, with lots of water or just liquid on these mats. Ice, snow, mud, dirt, nothing at all, no problems, whether I'm jumping into my truck or I'm pushing the gas pedal or the brake pedal. My feet have not slipped at all. Overall for these mats, it's a solid buy, guys. $159, and for everything of it, you can't go wrong with this. Again, this is the 3W floor mats, and this is the driver's side. Alrighty folks, so these are the same mats but on the passenger side. So I'm just going to show you, what they look like. We're not going to go into too much detail as we did earlier, but just first glance looking at these mats, first thing I noticed is that the WeatherTech is a lot shorter in length than these other mats that we have here on the table. Yeah, square footage of these mats, the WeatherTech is a lot shorter. I will show you here. I'll just stack them on for you. All right, so we got the 3W on top, and the OEM Toyota in the middle, and then the WeatherTech on the bottom. As you can see right here, just from right here, I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but there is a difference also in length too with the OEM Toyota and the 3W in difference itself. So overall, the 3W looks like on the passenger side, covers a lot more square footage in total. But yeah, we will get these mats installed to see what it looks like, and we'll go from there. All right guys, so this is the second roll for our Crew Max Tundra. As you can see, these mats are very large in size. Right now I am holding the 3W floor mat. It has been in our vehicle again for the last 6 months. We have no wear and tear, curling, odors at all, but this is the mat or coverage that we have. And again, on these mats, they do have the teeth on the rear for no slipping. And yeah, overall, these mats cover just about everywhere for our crew cab. Next, we have the Toyota OEM, and as the same as the earlier ones, it's pretty much flimsy. You can curl it, throw it around, whatever you want to do with it. It doesn't have much coverage at all compared to the others that we do have here. This was in our vehicle for about 3-4 months, and we absolutely hated it. Again, a lot of slipping when our guests or passengers went in the rear. Yeah. All right. Now, this is the WeatherTech. It does, again, look like it covers just a lot more areas in the crew cab in the back, second row. But it is the same material again, so there is a lot of slipping and whatnot. So for our passengers, they may slip when jumping in. And yeah, so again, guys, this is the second row for our Tundra, and this is the WeatherTech. All right, folks, so we are on the driver's side. Overall, first glance, same thing. I can imagine this to curl if I keep jumping in here and hitting it. They do have some coverage up here, which is nice. But then again, on the other mats that we just looked at, it goes all the way back here, and these WeatherTechs do not cover up there. So I can imagine lots of curling around here. And again, there is no teeth underneath, so it just slip in back and forth when I'm jumping in. Could get some serious abuse and wear and tear in these things. Again, this is the WeatherTech on the driver's side. We are on the passenger side, and first glance, not much coverage up here. Again, first thing I can imagine with it curling, hitting back and forth. Yeah, so as you've seen the 3W mats, it did go all the way to the top, and this cuts just about half of the coverage. So I can imagine your carpet getting really dirty and debris falling right behind this. Again, folks, there isn't any teeth underneath of this, so the locking mechanism of these mats, you know, have none at all. We have the WeatherTechs in, and first glance, you can already see what part of the mat will be curling. These mats haven't even been here for more than 5 minutes, and they are already curling. Yeah, I will say they do have some decent coverage with like the lip parts, but that's pretty much about it. It's not really true to fit, perfect fit or whatnot, but I will say that part right here is what bothers me. You know, if someone's just quickly jumping in, jumping out, this is first to curl, and I can imagine the rest of the vehicle where it will be curling. But yeah, this is the WeatherTech in the rear. Alrighty, folks, so we are in the driver's side, and these are the OEM mats from Toyota. First glance, you know, a lot, again, as from the passenger side, not much coverage at all. Again, you know, I mean, it does have locking mechanism, so it does help with it gripping to the carpet, but no coverage right here for the gas pedal and brake pedal. These two, you know, lots of debris can get there. From the other mats that we did see, they had some coverage up here. These OEM mats do not have any. Only thing I give it is that for this part, it is a lot higher than the other mats we saw, so there's that. But yeah, this is the OEM Toyota mats. All right, so we are on the passenger side of our truck, and this is the OEM all-weather floor mats that we got with our vehicle. And first off, you can't even see any coverage with these mats at all, and instant curling with this. It is, you know, tightened, and it just, you know, sticks up. So no coverage at all with these OEM mats. I mean, maybe up here there's a lot of coverage, but everywhere else, not much at all. Again, these are the OEM from Toyota, and we are on the passenger side. It's in for the rear, and first glance, you know, it's not really precise to fit. You know, if you pull it here to get matched here, then that kind of gets yanked over here, and then this kind of gets bunched up here. So the precise fitting isn't all there for its coverage. And again, these mats are already curling. But yeah, I mean, they do have the teeth underneath. I give that to them, and they do have coverage over here. But overall, not really impressed with the mats by Toyota. Alrighty, so this is the 3W floor mat, and we are currently on the driver's side. As you can see, this does get a lot more coverage. It goes all the way to the top. Doesn't get much coverage down there, but it does wrap all the way around. So I do have my seat all the way back. But yeah, this is the driver's side. Alrighty, folks, so this is the passenger side of that 3W floor mat. As you can see, it goes way up there. So you get lots of coverage. For other mats, it just ends like right around here, but that 3W mat goes all the way to the top. Alrighty, so we are in the rear of our vehicle, and we are currently looking at the rear 3W floor mat and the coverage. So it does go under the driver's seat just a little. Goes right here, and it's a perfect fit. We don't have any issues with it at all. But yeah, that's the 3W floor mat. And one of my biggest pet peeves is with mats is no curling at all. These mats do not curl. I have no issues with them. And for these other two, just this thing, that thing is just haywire. So 3W is the way to go. If not, that's just for you to decide.